We have the great honor of introducing our speaker today, and she's going to talk about, I don't know what that word is. What? Yeah, okay. I am because we are Ubuntu. Yeah, sounds good. So I'd like to introduce Reverend Joanne. She's going to do our talk today.
Well, I have to tell you that we had some new people today. Hey, are you new in the back? Oh, blessings. What's your name? Tabora? Aurora. Oh, beauty. And Bee and Renee are here. And so I mentioned to Renee that my talk was Ubuntu, and she knew what that was. So that's great. So I just want to welcome everybody to the Center for Spiritual Living Red Deer. This is a place of infinite possibilities. And I invite you now to just settle. Just settle into your heart and take a deep breath. And as you breathe in, just feel yourself sinking into your heart center. With a grateful heart, I affirm and know this day, all is well. Love is here. Peace is here. Spirit, God is here. Spirit is in, around, and through each of us, expressing our uniqueness. I am unique. I am a light. I am a light in the world. I declare it and express it freely and lovingly. And I am grateful. I'm grateful, so grateful. I am one with the Spirit all around me. I'm grateful, so grateful. I trust in God. And as I release my word, I lift this prayer up and give it to the one who has already made it so. And together we say, and so it is. And staying in your heart, let us send rays of light and love to all. To all those who are searching and needing our love and light today. And if you choose to name them out loud, please do, or just silently say their names to yourself. Today, for myself, I send loving kindness and light to Roger and Norris. And allow that love and light to just flood our world. Thank you. Thank you, David, and all those who make this day possible. Like he said, it's already March 5th. I couldn't believe it. Did you ever have some of those times in your life where you kind of woke up one day and you thought, has it only been a week or two since I've been here? Hasn't it been like at least a year or a lifetime ago? Well, these past 2 weeks did that for me. And it's not the time on my clock or the date on the calendar that changed. It was me. I changed. There's moments in our life we go through life and we change and we grow and we change and we grow. And our consciousness changes. And I know sometimes I've talked to other people that they go into a meditation and it's like they woke up in another lifetime. So for me, I couldn't believe I went from February to March and something changed in me. In the short time since I was here last, I experienced wedding joy, funeral sorrow, an African spiritual Ubuntu concert that filled me with elation, and a Science of Mind Ministers conference that encouraged me. And so I'm going to talk about that today, that inspiration, that encouragement, that elation, and I'm going to have some experiential exercises too for you to plant some new seeds. So what happened to me was, as I learned all these different things, I stopped and asked myself, who am I? And has it only been a week or so ago since something's different? No, something is not different. Someone is different. And I came to know myself. I was pretty surprised when I opened the talk this week and they give us a suggested title, and it was called Know Thyself. And so everything led me up to this. So I came across two truths. One of them was when I focus on who I am, rather than what I am, they can become one. So who I am, it's a long list. I'm a mother, a minister, a woman, a grandmother. But who I am, that was something I had to think about. And I wanted to be clear. So who I am right now is authentic. I am authentic. And that leads me into that word, Ubuntu, the African blessing. Ubuntu translates into I am because we are one. And I am only because we are. I am only because we are one. And the second thing that came to me was when I looked within at what authenticity meant to me. It's just a word. But how can I put that word into action? So what came to me was how I can put that into action is I can be more encouraging. I'm an encourager. And I'll talk about that in a minute too. Aren't we always learning to know thyself? And I think the answer to that is, I am. And whatever that is to you. So Ubuntu is an African blessing, and it was really brought to the forefront by Nelson Mandela. It's part of the Zulu language, and it really feeds into my vision of being an encourager as well as an inspirer. I want to teach you 2 Zulu words used when they communicate Ubuntu, because it's how they greet each other. When we greet each other, we could say hi. We might even say, how are you? But that's pretty mild compared to Ubuntu. Ubuntu, the first word is Sawubola, Sawubola. Sawubola, and it means, I see you. Wow. What a way to greet somebody, to say, I see you. And the response back to that person is, Yebo, Y-E-B-O. Yebo, Sawubola. That means, I see you seeing me. Wow. What a world it would be if we said to people, I see you. Everybody in this room would be all like, oh, thanks. But other people, including my siblings, would like, oh my gosh, I don't want you to see me. And maybe even for some of us here, and sometimes I think that too. Oh, do I want you to see me? Just think about how good it feels when someone's eyes light up when you acknowledge, I see you. So their blessing is really a spiritual affirmation. It's encouraging. It encourages others. And all it takes is for someone to say, I see you. So that's my first request. I want you to turn to somebody beside you, in front of you, or behind you and greet them with Saubola. 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 Okay, now the second part. I didn't want you guys saying Yebo Saubola at the same time. It would get all confusing. But now I want you to say that. Yebo Saubola, I see you seeing me. Yebo Saubola. Yebo Saubola. Yebo Saubola. I see you is a deep blessing, and it removes the layers of what I am into who I am. So I want to thank you for your participation. Rumi says it this way: the beauty in you and the beauty in me are a reflection of each other. So the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you. And how often do you really let people see you, your authentic self, your inner light? And that reminds me of a story about what lies beneath the layers that we have physically and spiritually. It's called the Golden Buddha, and some of you might have heard of it. But humor me anyway, because it's a great story. So in Bangkok, in the 1400s, there was a golden Buddha. And you know, it stood 9 feet tall. It weighed 5.5 tons, and it was said to be worth $250 million. And in 1758, the Burmese army invaded Thailand. So the Buddhist monks, they covered that golden Buddha in plaster. They painted it, they put some little glass emblems in there, and they left it there. So during the invasion, the golden Buddha was never discovered. And then many years later, 200 years later in 1957, that entire monastery in Thailand was being moved. So the monks tied a rope around that statue and started moving that statue. Well, the rope broke. And when the Buddha rolled down the hill, it created a crack in the plaster. And when the monks looked down on it, they saw this light shining through the crack. So they went down there with their chisels and hammers and broke away the plaster and found the golden Buddha. So under our plaster, under our layers of thoughts and beliefs that are not the truth of who we are, lies the golden Buddha. And I'd like that to be an affirmation for us. And so if you'll repeat after me, I love myself the way I am. Authentic, free, and golden. So that, and Sarah Brecknath says, the authentic self is the soul made visible. Wow. And my second revelation was, how can I be an encourager? So often I discuss on Sundays how to raise your consciousness, and I give you the magic steps of affirmative prayer, the 5 steps. God is, I am, I know, thank you, I let it go. And I talk about why to raise our consciousness. I talk about, because we're all one, when we raise our consciousness, we raise the consciousness of the whole planet. But then I thought, that's a pretty daunting word, let's just raise our consciousness, because some people don't even know what consciousness is and they've never heard it before. You can't see it, you can't smell it, can't taste it. You can feel it, but it feels like the wind. It's what you feel at the deepest part of you when you know I am because we are. When you know you're a part of something big, something great, something magnificent, something important. And it's when you think with your heart and love with your mind. Then you're being a conscious being. Consciousness is Ubuntu. It's realizing I am because we are. And I'm not saying that affirmations aren't important. It's the essence of consciousness, and it's the teaching of Ernest Holmes. What I really want to tell you as an encourager is that you're not alone in that journey. You're not alone because there's a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. And it's good to be an inspirer. I talk a lot about my teenage motherhood and my life, but I want to be more than that. I want to be an inspirer and an encourager. I want them to be two sides of the same coin. I want to inspire people, and I want to encourage them. I am because there's a power greater than I am in the universe, and I can use it for good. There's another way we can encourage each other, and it's by clapping, by applauding. And guess what? Clapping is exercise. So when you applaud somebody, you're exercising yourself as well. I think about applauding music. Or I was thinking about figure skating, how every time they do a great jump, everybody in the audience applauds them, and they keep going, and they keep going. So I think that's a great way that we can acknowledge people. We can start applauding them. So this morning, I honor each one of you for being here, and I invite you to clap with me. Congratulations for getting here this Sunday, and know how very deeply blessed we are that each one of you are here. I applaud you. Look at your neighbor and applaud them. Applause. It's all of it. It's inspiring, it's encouraging, and it's invigorating. Maybe that's the third thing. I want to be inspirational, I want to encourage people, and I want to be enthusiastic. And you can do it for yourself every day. I saw this on a clapping yoga website. There's every kind of yoga you can imagine. So clapping yoga says every morning you should get up and you should give yourself applause because it improves your mood and energy and it encourages you. So let's do that right now. Give yourself some applause. And it's scientific too. When you're clapping, you're hitting some power points in your hands that release endorphins into your brain. So clap often, encourage yourself. Inspiration, again. So inspiration's important, and we need it to move forward. And I wonder what inspires you. And do you acknowledge who and what inspires you? Because the more you're inspired and spread the word, the more you'll be inspired. And what encourages you? Who or what encourages you? And do you thank that? Do you thank them? Your teacher, your mentor, your boss, your friend, your family? Because the more you say, thank you for encouraging me, the more you'll be encouraged. And what invigorates you? Music invigorates me. That's why I often break out into song during my talks, because it invigorates me. It fills me with joy. And boy, what a world. If we're inspired, encouraged, and invigorated. Whew. Now that's my new vision. And I'm putting that on my vision board next Saturday. And join us if you want. I want to inspire, encourage myself and others to be all that Creator intended them to be. Authentic and whole. To really embrace what I am because we are. You know what's also encouraging? Step 2 of the Science of Mind prayer. I am. And I am because I have a power greater than I am, and I can use it. How encouraging is that? How often do you think you're alone, and do you remember you're not alone? When I went to this Ubuntu concert, it was a Seventh-day Adventist service. And I have to tell you that I was really encouraged by that holiness, by that praise the Lord, even though that's not my path. I was really encouraged at how they embraced that philosophy and allowed it to encourage them. And I thought, what can I bring to the table that's that encouraging? So when you feel like you've lost your power, remember, Ernest Holmes told us, there's a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. It's greater than your unbelief. It's greater than your health, prosperity, or relationship concerns. Use it and call it as it is. There's a power greater than I am, and I can use it. Because we all have. David talked about power too. We all have that same power. And if you need some support connecting with it again, maybe there's somebody in this room that can support you. Maybe you can go for spiritual mind treatment. Sign up for a class. We're all using this power, this universal power that some people call God. You can call it love. You can call it good. You can call it spirit. It's never given up on you. It's never gone away. All that was lost was your connection. Knock and the door will open. Let it encourage you. Ernest Holmes says in 365 Science of Mind, the divine presence being everywhere and filling all space must be in me. It must be that which I really am. You see, everything's connected just like we are. Inspiring someone, encouraging someone is also expressing your authenticity, your authentic self. Authenticity is developed when you know who you are. And you can develop authenticity and know who you are by knowing what you value in life. What are your values? I value authenticity. So for right now, I am authentic and unapologetic. And if you know who you are, you can do that too. Be authentic and unapologetic. My core value. Yours could be one of a million emotions, phrases, practices, or qualities. And I invite you to re-establish it quite often because it could change your value, who you are. But always, if it's for the greatest and highest good of everybody on this planet, including you, it's the right and perfect thing. So those are a couple of ways I can encourage you. Connect to your power greater than you are. Seek out others of like-minded. Encourage and applaud others. Remember, you are because I am. I am because we are. And let's affirm that. I am the heart. I am the hands. I am the voice of spirit on earth. And I use it for good. So this week, as we go about our day and our week, I invite you to discover your own values and to live authentically and unapologetically. I invite you to see everyone through the eyes of an Ubuntu greeting. Sao Bola. And support and encourage others on their spiritual path. I am Reverend Joanne, faith, peace, and love, Boruck. And I welcome your applause. Thank you. I now invite David